Hi guys, and welcome back to another video game with powers. I'm Jake, and today we are continuing our little mini series where I'm talking about my top 5 most anticipated games of 2023 that I have backed. All right, so we've taken a look at number 5, Lobster Pot. We've taken a look at number 4, yesterday just released, Barbaric. All right, and today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at my 3rd most anticipated game of 2023. Right, game number 3. All right, and so. Today, this one, again, is going to continue the theme of miniatures, but this is from Awaken Realms, all right? The Awaken Realms, the king of the miniatures, I'd like to say. This game is called Lords of Ragnarok, guys, all right? And if you are not familiar with Lords of Ragnarok is the spiritual successor to Lords of Hellas, all right, which is basically, again, area control type game, dudes on a map, right? But Lords of Hellas was based upon the Greek pantheon and all of that, and Lords of Ragnarok is based upon the what is it, Viking, the Nordic, the Norse pantheon. I was trying to think of the word. All right, so let's go ahead and jump down to the campaign page over here on GameFound of Lords of Ragnarok. Alright guys, so here we are on Lords of Ragnarok. So it is the spiritual successor of Lords of Hellas. Innovative dudes on a map. Game set is a unique mix of Nordic mythology and sci-fi. Raise magnificent monuments, hunt monsters, and fight epic battles. Alright, so this game has raised $2.9 million with over 11,000 backers, 11,756 to be precisely. All right, I'm gonna have to go ahead and hit the view original campaign page here, guys, because and that was the updated, the late pledge page, so they didn't have any of the showings of the game. But let's take a look at this game, right? So it's 1 to 4 players, 90 minutes, 4+. Lords of Ragnarok is the spiritual successor to Lords of Hellas, which is ranked 250 overall on BGG. It's a dudes on the map game of truly epic proportion. It takes players into the middle of an everlasting conflict in a unique world inspired by Nordic mythology with a sci-fi twist, all right? Building upon the established core Lords of Hellas gameplay, it redefines it with new mechanics and fresh ideas. You will still erect great monuments, hunt monsters, and fight epic battles, but you will also use runes to promote your troops, take control of trolls and other monsters, or get unique perks for alliances with mythical realms. All right, so here's a bunch of quotes from Tom Vassell, Board Game Co., and things like that. And so again, in the base sense, it is a dudes on a map type game, area control. But what's also cool about it is it has kind of like Barbaric in a sense with the different modes. This has multiple victory conditions, right? So it's not just an area control game. And it goes and talks about this right here. It says, in this 1 to 4 player strategic board game, you will lead a unique asymmetric hero in their army, trying to be the ultimate victor in a war that unfolds over approximately 90 to 120 minutes. Players will choose from various actions such as building monuments, hunting monsters, ravaging the lands, gathering armies, and artifacts. Gods will grant you blessings that will heavily impact the game and create a unique combo for each player. On top of all that, special runes will play a significant role in leveling up your army or earning other bonuses that include control of deadly monsters. There will be a lot of new mechanics and twists, so prepare yourself for a fresh new thematic experience, right? And then in bold, multiple victory conditions will keep players at the edge of their seats until the end of the game, making room for some stunning, carefully planned last-minute reversals, all right? Lords of Ragnarok is the next major game from Awaken Realms, created in collaboration with Kwapiński. Together we wanted to create a territory control game that will bring tons of excitement and hours of gameplay, all right? So in a nutshell, like some of the other victory conditions, guys, is how it's going to work is you are going to select a Nordic hero, right? Some of the heroes they have in here are like Beowulf, I believe, is one of the heroes. So you will have your champion, is what they call him. You will have your main champion, and then you will select your army, okay? And then you will be putting those armies out on the board, and then you'll be having priests that you build monuments and all that stuff. So again, that is the game at a core. Like, I know one of the victory conditions is land control. Another one is building monuments. Another one is like defeating monsters, I believe, a certain amount of monsters. And then the other one is obviously taking your opponent out, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm not really sure about all the little fine details in the game, all right? So it talks about why you should back now, right? You get to become a part of the journey, you get more at a great price, and you will get the game first. So the core pledge, these are some of the components in the core pledge for $99. See, here are the monuments that you will be constructing. These are your champions. These are the monsters in the game that you will fight. These are your champions right here. You have your champion player boards and then the armies that you have, as well as tokens and resources, meeples, and then cards as well. All right, and this is the stretch goal box, adding in some new monuments right there, some more monsters, some more cards, a 5th player expansion and their army, and some more monsters. And they go all that stuff in detail, so we'll go that as we continue down the page. But looking at the pledges they had, just the initial core pledge, that was 99 euros. Just going to give you the base game and the stretch goals box. They have the all-in gameplay bundle, the base game, stretch goals box, and the 2 expansions for 149 euros. They have the Mythic Pledge, which is a sun drop version of the game for 169 euros, which gives you the base game, the stretch goals box, the environmental expansion, I believe. Let me click on it. What does it say? The terrain expansion in sun drop. You also get the art book as well as the upgraded runes. All right. You have the collector's all-in for 265 euros, which is going to give you everything in the game in Sundrop, as well as a game mat and cards, all right? So let's take a look at what's coming in the actual box, right? So the core box, 99 euros, or about $115, all right? You are going to get the monuments, right? You'll get 3 monuments, 6 monsters, 50 miniatures, 100 standard cards, 20 small cards, 150 other components. So monument number 1, we have Thor, okay? The Thor monument. Monument number 2 is Freya. And monument number 3, we have Odin, man. Look at the details on these miniatures, man. Just so beautiful, right? The monsters you'll be fighting, you have Fafnir, Hati, and Skull. You have a troll, you have Grendel, we have Loki, and we have a Draugr, all right? The armies itself, and this is kind of what's cool about the game, each army is going to have 6 army models, 4 priest models, and then your Drakkar, all right? What's cool is each individual color is going to have a different, each army and the priest and the Drakkar is each going to have its own different appearance, all right? So you can see here the army, we'll just take a look at the armies, right? This is a guy holding a giant axe with a long beard, all right? The green color, the army is going to have dual-wielding small axes, okay? The blue color is going to have like a cyberpunk's high-tech sword, right? A sword with these armies, very robotic, looks like. The gray one is going to have a small shield and a spear or a pike, looks like, as well, all right? And so then you get your army trays or your player boards. The heroes we got in the game, we have Aslog, Lagertha, Ragnar, Snorri, and Beowulf. All right, and then there's the game board and some of these other tokens. So we got just generic tokens. We have cards, we have rings, we have control markers, we got the big storage trays. All right, that is all in the base game, right? Now taking a look at these stretch goals, guys, we got the Guardian of the Bifrost expansion, having the Heimdall monument, bringing him into play. All right. We have a bunch of rune markers, rune tokens, Asgard tokens, and some cards, all right? As well as a multi-layer insert stored with that. And then the second expansion in there, we have the Children of Loki. So we have the Hell Monument, all right? And then in the expansion part 2, we have the Fenrir monster card with his model and all of his cards. All right. We also got some extra cards, and then in the expansion part 3, we're bringing in the Jormungandr monster model with his cards and all of his components, as well as the advanced solo autonoma components, and then some extra cards that you have as well, bringing in 2 new heroes, Skuld and Igil. All right. And then as part of the 5th player expansion, or as part of the part 1 of this, you have the 5th player expansion with all of their models with an axe and a shield, looking very deathly, all right? And then you have some more components for the 5th player expansion. Day 19, we added in some of these temple miniatures and all of that, and then 2 more monsters. So this is just kind of going over the stretch goals box and some of those components we saw above there. All right, so now it's just talking about the Awaken Realms games in general. There's Lords of Hellas, which is 242. They also have this War of Mine, which is 152, Tainted Grail 80, and Nemesis, which is 20. All right, and then they got some games down here, but they're basically the gameplay highlights, right? We'll take a look at the gameplay highlights. So And so the game at a whole, it says an epic territorial control with multiple victory conditions, okay? So the deep strategic gameplay will keep you on the edge of your seat and provide many turnaround moments. You will have a variety of tools at your disposal: your hero, your army, your Drakor, Drakar, your priest, your runes, your combat cards, and more, right? You will need to carefully use them to the best of your disposal, trying to achieve one of the 4 victory conditions, okay? So these 4 victory conditions are land control, temple control, slaying monsters, or Ragnarok. So let's take a look at some of these victory conditions in detail, right? So the first one, controlling and fighting mythical monsters, okay? So monsters in Lords of Ragnarok are adding extra layers unique for territory control games. You can choose a road of changing your hero into a monster slayer that will travel through the map and hunt those epic beings and then slay the final enemy, Loki. On top of that, as a player, you will be able to use runes to take control of these monsters and use them to ravage enemy lands or control attacks during monster hunts, alright? The next one, region control strategy, okay? Controlling certain regions will grant you a lot of perks. The most standard ones, like villages or temples, will help you recruit an army or a priest, but there is many more advanced ones. Rune forges and monuments will grant you runes and special perks. On top of that, you will be able to make alliances with mythical realms that will grant you special rewards every time players will do a certain action. It's also easier to move your armies around, as now every player will control Drakar that aids your army in the near region and boosts the mobility of your troops, alright? The next one, creating your own asymmetric strategy, right? Every game will be able to try a different strategy with your asymmetric hero and origin, providing you starting special powers, right? On top of that, during the game, you will draft powerful blessings, receive artifacts, and build your hero statistics. On top of that, you will be able to collect runes and combat cards that will have many different uses and can create powerful combos, right? And then the last thing would be, there's a picture of Loki right there. They got miniature highlights, right? The great attention to details in some of these miniatures. That's the Sundrop version of Thor right there. There's the Sundrop version of Odin. And then the last thing is going to be shipping, which is fairly expensive. All right, let me get back to the top here, guys. And I'm actually going to leave it on this page right here, down here, that we just saw a moment ago. Give me a sec, guys, and then I'll talk about why I am excited about this game. All right. We'll leave it right here and talk about it. All right, so why is this my 3rd favorite most anticipated game? Well, let's get straight to it, guys. I love me some mythical pantheon type games, right? One of my all-time favorite games on a console was Smite, okay? I started playing Smite back in like 2016, 2017 when it first released for the console. I believe that was Season 3, if I'm not mistaken, when they released it for the console, and now I think they're up to Season 10 or 11, but I was very heavy into Smite, playing it very competitive, playing it ranked, getting up to Diamond ranked. Again, I know that's not the best because they have Master and Grandmaster, but I was able to get into Diamond ranked. And basically, who you're not familiar with Smite, Smite is a MOBA about playing gods from all different types of pantheon, right? Greek pantheon, Norse pantheon, Hindu pantheon, Roman pantheon, and so I love those type of mythology, pantheon type games, right? So that was the first thing that really attracted me to this game, okay? And probably my 2 favorite pantheons are the Greek and the Norse pantheon. So I've been wanting to play Lords of Hellas for a really long time, and I've wanted to get into it, but never quite got around to getting it because it was so expensive, and it just seemed like a lot at the time. So right when I decided to finally commit and buy Lords of Hellas, that's when I saw Lords of Ragnarok. So I held off on buying Lords of Ragnarok. I held off on committing to Lords of Hellas and decided to grab Lords of Ragnarok instead, okay? So that theme, the theme in general of playing a pantheon of gods with Thor and Odin and some of these other Norse gods is just awesome to me. And again, it's giving me that sci-fi type vibe, okay? The next thing that drew me in is, of course, the miniatures. Awaken Realm is the go-to standard in terms of miniatures. All their games have big, beautiful miniatures. You know, you can get them sun-drop, which just enhance the quality of those miniatures. And overall, the production is amazing, okay? And so that's what really drew it into me, right? The theme and the miniatures, right? I'm not too sure how the mechanics of the game are going to hold up. Again, it is a big production, kind of like Barbaric. Okay, and it is an area control type game. But what drew me to it is the multiple victory conditions. Again, kind of something like barbaric, right? I feel if this was just an area control type game, I really wouldn't have backed it because I'm not sure how Sierra's going to feel about these types of games. But having these multiple victory conditions, because sometimes when we're playing competitively, we don't always like to attack each other or battle each other, right? We like games where occasionally we'll have to battle each other, but majority of the time you can still do other stuff and win the game. So this game kind of gives us that where we can kind of focus on ourselves. Like if I want to build monuments, I don't have to attack her at all. I can just build monuments. Or if she wants to slay monsters and try and win that way while I try and control territories, she can do that. And so that's something that attracted me to that as well. And then lastly, guys, just the value of the game, right? Awaken Realms is always, their games always will be able to hold its value and always be able to get the value back if you don't end up liking this game. And so this is on a lot of people's list. I know a lot of people are very interested in this game. And so if we get it and we're just not a big fan of that area control type game and not a big fan of the other game mode, I'm confident that I can get my value back for this game. But that's why I'm really can't wait for this game, and I've actually held off on a lot of other area control games until we get this one in to see if we actually like this mechanic in games, because we don't own a whole lot of area control type games. The only thing that my hesitation with this, again, it's got big miniatures. Sierra's not a big fan of miniatures, and so the games do take kind of long. So how often am I going to get this to the table? Is it going to be a beast? But yeah, that's why it's my third favorite. I'm really excited about this game. It is currently on the boats right now. So the last update we had, it is set to start fulfilling in June, if I'm not mistaken. So let me go to the current project view and see what the last update was. We did get a shipping update right here that says we're in the final stages of full fulfillment. You can see, look at those beautiful boxes right there. Oh, this game looks so good. I can't wait to that. So it says the US ship is set to arrive around the 31st of May. And so then probably it's going to be 1 or 2 weeks to get all that stuff to the warehouse. And so I should be getting this game either late June or early July. So I cannot wait to get this game, guys, and bust it out for you so we can definitely see. But the pledge that I went ahead and did was this Mythic Sundrop pledge, okay, for $169. Again, that's, it's still a lot of money, but with this one, what I'm starting to learn about myself is that there's very few games that I want to get the expansion for. Normally, I'm all about getting the expansions, but with board games, a lot of these expansions are going to add to the setup time or make it even more harder to get to the table, and sometimes I don't like that. So again, with a game like this, I'm not too really sure how it's going to play, so I did avoid getting any additional expansions. I think the base game with the stretch goals is enough content for me to be able to feel it out, and then getting the territory expansion was kind of a bonus to add on top of that. But this is the pledge I went ahead, the 169 Euro Mythic pledge, all right? So I cannot wait for this game, guys. It's coming here pretty soon in the next month. So definitely be on the lookout for that unboxing and content video. All right. Well, that is my number 3. My third most anticipated game of 2023, guys, that I backed is Lords of Ragnarok. So, all right, guys. As always, if you like this content, please go ahead and drop a like on the video. Hit that notification bell if you are not notified already, so when we drop content, we're dropping content almost every day. I'm trying to get stuff out to you guys every day. And as always, subscribe if you have not subscribed to our channel, guys, so we can keep bringing you more awesome content. All right, number 2, I'm going to go ahead and put the thumbnail for my second most anticipated game. We're getting close. Number 2 right here. See if you guys can guess it. And it's going to be interesting. We'll see. If you know about this game, it's going to be pretty obvious. But yeah, all right, guys. Well, y'all have a great one. Bye.